Okay, so this one is really, really important for everybody to take note of. The cost of running your business right now here in the UK has just gone up again. And I'm not doing a political broadcast in any way, shape, or form. This is apolitical, but it's a fact. So, with Labour's latest employment rights bill and law changes that have come into force and coming into force, it's now having a huge impact and effect on business owners who are facing raising wage bills, higher national insurance contributions, and new compliance processes that you're going to have to jump through moving forward into the future. So there's more for you and more expectations on you of what you're meant to do. And if you're wondering right now how to stay profitable while surrounding and supporting your team at the same time, then you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. So let's break down right now what's changed, what's changing, and more importantly, what you can do about it to help and support your business and the people in your business. Okay, so right now, real talk at the moment in time, there are a lot of businesses and especially smaller businesses out there that are struggling right now just to keep their heads above water. They are kicking and kicking and trying to survive, and everyone is in that same boat. So national minimum wage has gone up, employers' national insurance contributions have gone up, inflation's probably still hitting home, and just to date this, it's gone up again as well. So that's hitting everything too. And then to boot, you've got all these other things that are going to come up on the horizon through the Employment Rights Bill, which is looking at giving employees the rights to be able to claim unfair dismissal from day one rather than day 2 years down the road. And there's going to be a swathe of different things that are going to come into boot around that are going to impact on flexible working. It's going to impact on 0-hour contracts and the way those work too. And it's going to have a huge impact on businesses up and down the country for a fact. So it's not just about tightening the belt. It's about keeping great staff, good people, protecting employees, protecting your margins, your profit margins of your business, and also keeping the doors open for the future. So these are real core components that are hitting everybody, real things happening right now up and down the country. So there is, of course, a human impact from all of that. So this isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet anymore. This is people. This is people's lives. This is people's livelihoods. This is people's families. This is people's businesses, and so on and so forth. It's so much more than that. So it's deciding whether you can afford to keep someone at the moment in their job, whether you can afford to keep them in the hours that they're going to be doing at the moment in time, or it's choosing between cutting services or increasing your prices. And it's the worst of worst worlds, basically, for businesses. And it's the hardest decisions to have to make. And it is the hardest part of this process. You want to do right by the people in your business and your team, but you also need to protect the business itself as well. So it creates its own awful paradigm that you're stuck within at the moment in time, which is balancing all of those key differentials together. And all of us are humans, so we know that at the end of the day, like I said at the beginning, this isn't just numbers on a spreadsheet. This is something that's impacted on real people, real lives, everyday lives. So here's the thing. Whilst all of that is doom and gloom, it's real world, real talk, and I get that. It also doesn't always have to be so negative, because there are upsides to things that we can do. There's upsides to things that you can do in your business that's going to help to really see the wood for the trees, to be honest. So what is it you actually can do? What is it that's available for you to actually see the wood for the trees? And from where I come from, I want to help with that to a degree. So here is some strategies, some HR support changes that I think you can instigate at the moment in time that's going to help change that game for you to a degree. And really mean that when you're coming to that decision about numbers, people, roles, and keeping the doors open and profitability, it's going to help you to really make sure that you're making decisions based on the right things rather than just reactions, because those are never great decisions, let's be honest, to work through. So the first one is smart workforce planning. This is something that we build in within our productivity booster. That's the principle behind it, is to make sure that really the sum of your parts are being utilized in the most efficient and most cost efficient way to help progress and make your business profitable, to grow, to give the best outcome of service, patient care, whatever it is that you do, to make sure that works to its optimum for you and your business. So your people will be doing so many different things right now. And one of the things I always talk about is headless chickens. So you can have people that look really immensely busy. They're doing loads and loads of different bits and functions, and all of it looks like it's really important on the face of it. But the reality is when you track that back to the core objectives of your business, the core monster goals within your organization that you want to strive to achieve, they might not actually make much difference to a lot of that. People could be using a lot of time. You might be paying for a lot of time that's not constructive towards the end goal of what you're trying to achieve in your business. That's lost time. That's money that's spent you're not getting back. So we want to have a workforce that's smarter. We want to be able to make sure that we've got a map that links our workforce, our tasks, our objectives, our goals to the overall business goals, so that we can actually see what's happening. We can have some data that's related to that. It helps us to then focus on where we do have red flags, performance concerns, where the business needs to expand a bit further, where perhaps maybe your staffing numbers aren't quite right. Maybe you need more staff, maybe you need less. Whether we've got our goals right. I mean, that's another great one. But if we have a smart workforce and we can plan around that, we can increase productivity and we can make the sum of our parts more effective to the overall goals that we're trying to achieve, we're going to have a better business. And the hires that we have are going to be adding more value. I mean, don't ever forget that people are going to fall into one or two categories in your business. They're either going to be a cost or they're going to be an investment. And it's not the role necessarily that's a cost or investment. It's the people in the roles that are a cost or an investment. Because those that are sucking a lot of your time doing the headless chicken stuff, maybe not performing quite right, or where you're getting all those issues that you seem to find 80% of your time gets zapped into, that's the cost. That's the things you can do without within your business. The people that are driving it forward, the people that are actually your high performers who are knuckling down and getting the stuff done and turning it out and hitting the deadlines and going above and beyond, they're your investments. And they're the people you want more of in the high performing culture. But you can't keep high performers if you don't have a high performing culture. So a smart workforce planning process within your business, it really matters in terms of doing that process. The next one is pay structure reviews. So it's not always about just raising salaries willy-nilly. It's not always just a race to every year annually everybody gets a 5% increase regardless of whatever it is they bloody did, whether it was good, shit, who cares? Give them an increase. We want to do something that's going to reward. We want recognition. So coming back to those high performers, the worst case scenario for high performers is not only it's not even that they don't get the attention, which they don't, because your attention is on the poor performers. It's not that they don't get recognition, because, well, they don't, because all your time is spent on the poor performers. It's the fact that for being good at the job, for being the high performer, for being your superstar, they get more of the work that the people that you're caring for at the moment aren't doing. So you want something that's going to be a reward. And there's lots of different ways you can do that. It doesn't have to be just pay, but it could be things such as, additional benefits. It could be, and again, I think I've brought this up already before, but if you know me, it will come up, additional days annual leave, which is cost neutral. And it goes down really well. It is a good reward. It does serve as recognition. Building strong career pathways. So there's a trajectory of travel that if people are performing strongly, they can go down. And that will help you to not only attract talent, but also keep the talent that you do have in your business. There's so many different things you can do, but I would look to align that structure, pay structure, reward to the smart workforce planning you've done. So you are actually giving recognition and reward to those people for doing the right things. That's good. And you're also creating a FOMO effect. Those people that didn't get it want it. They fear of missing out from what they didn't get, and they want it. So then they pick up their socks, and you've got that spiral effect to a high performing culture, which is what you want to do. You also want to build in retention strategies. So With that, you want to be looking at how you keep the best people, those high performers, the people that are your investments. You want to see how you can keep them and build strategies to do that. And one of the key elements to that is also having, conversely, exit interviews, having conversations with individuals before they leave. So the other week we were talking about identifying leavers before they actually quit. So identifying those points, those trigger marks, and looking to see if you can do early interventions to try and help with that. Looking at growth plans and strategies that you can bring them on board to. Remembering you can't just think because someone's working with you and they're doing really good work and they're a superstar, you can just leave them alone, because they will just leave at the end of the day. So if you've got this person and they're an investment, invest your time there, invest your benefits there, invest your strategies as to how you can keep them and how you can move them forward. The career pathway is another strong one with that as well. And then the next one is flexible working models. So this is really before you start to look to restructure. So if you're saying at the moment in time, I'm stuck between that rock and the hard place between affordability and obviously being able to provide the services that we provide to the clients that we have, or the patients we provide services to, whatever the case may be. Look at what the other options are before you go down the road of redundancies. Could you be looking at doing things like reducing to part-time hours? Could you be looking to move people to job shares, possibly? So rather than losing jobs, rather than losing people, you're cutting hours. Or maybe you could look at perhaps hybrid working situations. So again, it's a weird, quirky world at the moment where potentially to reduce costs, you might want to reduce the size of the desk space you're using in your business. So hybrid working may come into play there. You may also find, conversely, that reducing hybrid working may also help in terms of bringing people more back together, may help in terms of the operational side to increase profits as well for people. But you also want to be looking at what things you can do to increase loyalty. So flexibility is going to be one that's a double-edged sword for businesses. It's not going to go away. It's just going to change and remorph, and it's going to become a standard moving forward into the future. So we've got to come on board with it and see how we can make that a superpower for our businesses to help us to work better into the future rather than turning a blind eye to it. So at the end of the day, there's a lot that's happening at the moment in this world, and it's having huge impacts on all your businesses. And I'm sure of that because I know it is. I'm speaking to lots of businesses at the moment in time where it is. And the truth of the matter is as difficult as it is out there and as challenging as it is, there is no silver bullet, unfortunately. There isn't any silver cure. But there is a smarter way forward, and that's where we come in. Now, I know you're thinking this is just a sales pitch, Mike. Thank you very much. But genuinely, this is the process that we've been doing for years now, of working to do that smarter workforce and build a team and a mechanism and the mechanics around your business that helps your business genuinely to move forward and to progress, to be more profitable, to increase the better patient level of care you're providing. All of those things is governed by, and you're only going to be as good as the sum of your parts, and that's the people within your business. So with the right advice, you can reduce the risks to your business, increase the levels of retention, and also give yourself breathing space, breathing room, and breathe that life back into your business. And that's what I want to help you to do. So if you're feeling that pressure right now and you feel the rising costs of employment, you're feeling the burden of the extra compliance that's coming on its way, that people paradigm is getting more and more complicated, you need people to grow and scale. Every business does. Unfortunately, that's just a fact of life. But with people, the other parts of fact of life come people-led problems, right? So if you're feeling that and that pinch between those two things is getting even harder, then please get in contact. There is a link in the description below. My name is Mike, by the way. I'm not sure. I'm at the end of the video. I'm just introducing myself. This is great, isn't it? But my name is Mike. The company is Cavell. If you are listening to us on a podcast or via YouTube, via the tube of you, there will be a link in the description below. That's a link to be able to join our articles and get more information at earlier points of time and more information and support bits and pieces from us anyway. If you click on that, then you can register that and you'll get more information from us, which is all good fun. If you found this helpful and supportive, then please give us a subscribe. Please give us a thumbs up. That's always appreciated. If you'd like to listen to the podcast, we're available wherever you get your podcasts from. So please go on and grab us. And if you are watching us on the article, then please enjoy the article below. Any questions, the link is in the description or in the article below to come contact us and see how we can help and support you. Thank you.